Trustee Berger.
Here.
Trustee Zalick.
Here.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Here.
Trustee McCarthy.
Here.
Mayor Severino.
Please stand and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Keep your hands over there.
Sorry about that.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes of our May 5th, 2025 Village Board meeting?
So moved?
Moved by trustee
Second.
McCarthy, seconded by trustee Guthrie. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Guthrie.
Aye.
Trustee Anselmo.
Aye.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
We have, at the list, we have resolution number 3422 honoring Denane Pope upon his 20th anniversary of employment with the Village of Carroll Stream Police Department. And trustee Frusaloni has asked if she could read that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 3422, a resolution honoring Danae Pope upon his 20th anniversary of employment with the Village of Carroll Stream Police Department. Whereas Danae Pope joined the Carroll Stream Police Department as police officer on May 2nd, 2005. And whereas Danae Pope served in many capacities and performed numerous specialties, including school resource officer, juvenile officer, field training officer, and corporal. And whereas Danae Pope has been honored with numerous commendations throughout his career, including being named the Illinois School Resource Officers Association's School Resource Officer of the Year in 2018. And whereas Danae Pope was promoted to the rank of sergeant on December 18th, 2023. And whereas upon his promotion to sergeant, Danae Pope has served as a patrol sergeant and is currently assigned as the sergeant to the Community Relations Unit while also overseeing the department's juvenile officer program. And whereas Danae Pope has been employed as a public servant for 20 years as a police officer with the Village of Carroll Stream Police Department. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Mayor and Board of Trustees of the Village of Carroll Stream, on behalf of all former and present elected and appointed officials and residents of Carroll Stream, that Section 1, Sergeant Danae Pope's service and dedication to the Village of Carroll Stream and accomplishments in the field of law enforcement are hereby recognized and commended. Section 2, Sergeant Danae Pope is wished the very best of happiness and health in his continued employment with the village. This resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage as approved by law, passed and approved on this 19th day of May, 2025. And I make a motion to accept Resolution 3422.
I'll second.
Moved by trustee Frusaloni, seconded by trustee Anselmo, or who was that? Oh, by
Zalick.
trustee Zalick. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Guthrie.
Aye.
Trustee Anselmo.
Aye.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Let the record show the mayor also votes aye.
All right. Resolution number 3422 is approved.
If I knew you were going to hug her, I would have read it.
Just thank y'all. Like I said, this wasn't my life's dream to be a police officer, but I'm glad I made this choice to do it. Thanks to the village for hiring me 20 years ago. It's had its up and downs, but I'm glad I made the decision. Thank y'all for allowing me to serve in the positions I have. And we'll see how much more I can go.
We hope it's long.
Would you like to?
I do.
Picture, picture, come on. Okay. Next is a proclamation, a National Public Works Week. Whereas public, what? Somebody say something? I thought somebody said they wanted to read this down there. Okay. Whereas public works professionals focus on improving the quality of life, providing vital services, and ensuring the safety and sustainability of our community. And whereas public works services are essential to maintaining the health, safety, and well-being of communities, including the infrastructure that supports roads, water, sewage systems, solid waste management, stormwater, and emergency services. And whereas public works professionals include engineers, construction workers, maintenance staff, engineering responders, and planners who work tirelessly to ensure that the communities are safe, resilient, and sustainable for present and future generations. And whereas the contributions of public works professionals often goes unrecognized, and it is important to highlight the valuable role they play in building and maintaining our cities, towns, and regions. And whereas the theme of National Public Works Week is Ready and Resilient, which emphasizes the need for strong, effective, and adaptable public works systems that support a vibrant and thriving society. And whereas the members of the public works professional deserve recognition and appreciation for their dedication, hard work, and service to the community. Now therefore, be it proclaimed by the mayor and the board of trustees of the Village of Carol Stream that May 18th through the 24th, 2025, be known as National Public Works Week in recognition of the essential contributions of public works professionals and to celebrate their efforts to build, maintain, and improve the infrastructure that enhances our quality of life, dated this 19th day of May, 2025. We have anything from the audience? Nothing? Do we have anything from the internet?
Not
Nothing?
the internet, but we do have Commander.
Oh, yeah, we do have one. Oh, look at this, Mr. Hildebrand. It's all yours.
Short and sweet.
Good to see you, Rich.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the board. I'm here as the commander of the Carroll Stream VFW, and as you know, on next Monday, we will be hosting the annual Memorial Day service at the Memorial Plaza in the town center. I'm here to just give you a personal invitation to come out. I know you've always been there, but it's appropriate that we reach out to the community and invite the dignitaries. You may not be recognized that day, but at least I'll recognize you here today. I also extend the invitation to the police chief and the police department. I was at the fire department and made arrangements with them for the flag and the ladder. So I think I covered all my bases.
Is it at 11 o'clock?
11 o'clock on Monday. Thank you.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation as usual. And thank you for selling the poppies.
We'll be at Jewel this weekend.
I know, they were at Caputo's
this weekend.
this last weekend. Okay. Is there a motion to establish a consent agenda?
So moved?
Second?
Moved by trustee McCarthy, seconded by trustee Frizzaloni. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Guthrie.
Aye.
Trustee Anselmo.
Aye.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Frizzaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, would you please read what's on the consent agenda?
Certainly. Board and commission reports. Plan Commission Zoning Board of Appeals. Cherubim 565 East St. Charles Road, Special Use Permit, Adult Daycare Center. Recommended approval subject to conditions 4-0.
Yes.
Yes.
Oppidan Holdings, 245 Kehoe Boulevard, Special Use Permit, Vehicle Repair and Service, Special Use Permit, Outdoor Storage, Fence Variation, Landscaping Variation, Plat of Subdivision. Recommended approval subject to conditions 4-0.
Yes.
Yes.
Village of Carroll Stream, 1351 Charger Court, Plat of Re-Subdivision. Recommended approval 4-0.
Yes.
Yes.
Staff reports and recommendations. Approval of an engineering service agreement with Baxter and Woodman for the design and bidding assistance for the Village of Carroll Stream Water Reclamation Center Headworks Improvements Design for an amount of $755,875.
Yes.
Yes.
Approval of the purchase and installation of dump bodies and snow and ice equipment on 2 Ford F-550 chassis from Henderson Manufacturing in the amount of $161,638 pursuant to the provisions of Section 5-8-14L of the Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances.
Yes.
Yes.
Approval of the purchase of 2 2025 Peterbilt 548 single-axle dump truck cab and chassis under the Sourcewell contract number 032824-PMC from JX Peterbilt in the amount of $275,774.83 pursuant to the provisions of Section 5-8-14L of the Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances.
Yes.
Yes.
And, sorry, it's taking a little bit more. And installation of snow and ice equipment on 2 Peterbilt 548 single-axle dump truck cab and chassis under NPP Gov contract number M5824829 from Henderson Manufacturing in an amount of $302,751 pursuant to the provisions of Section 5-8-14L of the Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Approval of Amendment Number 9 to the Agreement for Operations, Maintenance, and Management Services of the Water Reclamation Center in the amount of $2,528,948 for the period of May 1st, 2025 through April 30th, 2026.
Yes.
Award of the Public Works Construction Contract to Hacienda Landscaping, Inc. in the amount of $297,200 for the Klein Creek Overlook Project.
Yes.
Ordinances. Ordinance amending Chapter 11, Article 2 of the Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances by decreasing the number of Class F liquor licenses from 11 to 10 and Class V liquor licenses from 20 to 19. Bella's Pizza LLC doing business as Bella's Pizza, 1045 Fountain View Drive.
Yes.
That is ordinance number 2025-05-21. Ordinance amending Chapter 11, Article 2 of the Carroll Stream Code of Ordinances by decreasing the number of Class A liquor licenses from 17 to 16. Taj RVD, Inc., doing business as Taj Mahal Restaurant, 802 West Army Trail Road.
Yes.
That is ordinance number 2025-05-22. Ordinance approving a special use permit for an adult daycare center in the B3 General Business District, Cherubim, 565 East St. Charles Road.
Yes.
That is ordinance number 2025-05-23. Ordinance approving special use permits for vehicle repair and service and outdoor storage, fence variation, and foundation landscaping variation in the I Industrial District, Oppenden Holdings, 245 Kehoe Boulevard.
Yes.
That is ordinance number 2025-05-24. Ordinance granting a six-month extension for execution of ordinance 2022-10-44, which granted approval of an amendment to a special use permit for a planned development in a rear yard building setback variation, Tyndale House Ministries, 504 South Schmale Road.
Yes.
That is ordinance number 2025-05-25. Resolutions. Resolution authorizing a final plat of subdivision, Oppenden Holdings, 245 Kehoe Boulevard, PIN number 02-32-202-006.
Yes.
That is resolution number 3423. Resolution authorizing a final plat of re-subdivision, Village of Carroll Stream, 1351 Charger Court, PIN number 01-23-405-065.
Yes.
That is resolution number 3424. Resolution authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement by and between the County of DuPage, Illinois, and the Village of Carroll Stream for pedestrian crossing signs located on Fair Oaks Road and Lees Road.
Yes.
That is resolution number 3425. Payment of bills. Regular bills, May 6, 2025 through May 19, 2025.
Yes.
Addendum warrants, May 6, 2025 through May 19, 2025.
Yes.
Treasurer's report, revenue expenditure statements and balance sheet for the month ended April 30th, 2025.
Received.
Received.
And that concludes the items on the consent agenda, Mr. Mayor.
there a motion to put those items on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Anselmo, seconded by trustee Guthrie.
Yes, sir.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Guthrie.
Aye.
Trustee Anselmo.
Aye.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve those items by omnibus vote?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Frizzaloni, seconded by trustee Zalick. Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Guthrie.
Aye.
Trustee Anselmo.
Aye.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Report officers. Trustee Guthrie.
Yes, Mayor. Like to congratulate all the Glenbard North graduates. They have their ceremony tonight. I want them to remember the slogan that they had for 4 years and hope they carry it for the rest of their life. Hard work matters. I'd like to mention, as we all talked about, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. There are signs that have been distributed out to different people throughout the village. It has a sign that says basically you can dial 988, and that is a crisis intervention line. If you hit number 1, it takes you to the veterans, to actually where you're talking to a veteran, specifically a veteran, that can help you out. So it's kind of like a one-to-one type of discussion. If you hit number 3, that is LGBTQ, and you're going to be talking to somebody who has that background as well. If you are in a situation where you don't want to make that phone call, you want to go on site, there is a crisis center which is open 24/7. It's free. It's at 115 North County Farm Road, and all you need to do is just go in there and ask for a counselor. I just wanted to mention that. It is Public Works Week, which was mentioned. I think that we all know that you guys do a great job when it comes to cleaning the streets and the sidewalks as well. You guys are easy to do business with. I think you need to add, probably ponds or streams or lakes to your, what you help with. I'd like to mention about the pond cleanup that has taken place in Carroll Stream. For a sense of pride for everybody, I can say that all of the ponds in Carroll Stream have been walked around. They have all been cleaned up, which is great for the village. I'd like to make a shout out to Juan Carlos Acevedo and his family and friends for helping clean up the community park this weekend. I'd like to make a shout out to trustee John Zalick, who had distributed blue lights during Police Week to homes in Carroll Stream. So we had delivered over 80 lights to 80 different families. And I think it's important to show that as I had gone through Citizens Police Academy, and did a drive-through, a ride-along, I have a different appreciation and understanding of what police go through, and I felt compelled to do something about it. The reason why we do the blue lights is that there's 165 law officers that lost their life last year. They lost it through gunfire, they lost it through auto, then they lost it through medical. And hopefully, when a police officer is driving around Carroll Stream, they see that blue light, they know that a family is thinking about them and their family as well. Shout out to Home Depot, because as we did do these lights, as we told the story to them, they were able to give us a $100 discount, for the lights. Last thing I want to mention is that I have been in discussions with Grunstyle, and they have finally agreed. It's taken 2 or 3 months to do this, but they have agreed to design and make and produce a Carroll Stream patriotic shirt. Things are going to be going fairly quickly, which means that potentially we could be selling this shirt on the Grunstyle website as early as this coming Wednesday. It's interesting because I'll put it on my website, and hopefully other people can spread the word, but they're allowing us a 2-week window to buy these shirts. You could buy a shirt, male, female, you could buy a long sleeve, you could also buy a hoodie. The other cool thing that they decided to do is that for every unit that is sold and purchased, they will donate $5 to the Dominic Severino Charitable Foundation. So last year, or this year, we donated, not me, but there were 13 individuals that received a scholarship, and hopefully by doing this, hopefully one more person can receive a scholarship. That ends my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, trustee Guthrie. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Trustee Anselmo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will pony on that. We are proudly showing our blue light as well. So I do want to congratulate Sergeant Pope on his 20 years. Thank you for your service and continued service. Public Works, you guys do a fantastic job. I think year-round, it doesn't matter, snow, you guys are always there, you're solid. It's been a pretty long day for myself and my family. As I mentioned, our last meeting, my father-in-law passed. He was a 22-year Chicago police officer. So, as you can imagine, today was an emotional day for our family, but I do want to thank everyone for your outpouring love and support as, my wife and family are getting through this. You guys have just been wonderful. And lastly, just wishes for a meaningful and memorable Memorial Day, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee Anselmo. Trustee Berger.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also want to congratulate Officer Pope, and you're not allowed to retire anytime soon. So stay out there and protecting our community, because we all appreciate you. Public Works, it's more than just cleaning off the streets, sanitizing things we don't want to talk about that get sent your way. We had another tour the other day, and it's always impressive. One of the things that really, there's a lot of things that impress us about the work that you guys do, and one of the things that has impressed me in the relatively short time that I've been up on the board compared to others is the ingenuity that you guys have displayed over the years when it comes to dealing with snow and ice and various things. I don't think the community is aware of all the things that you guys do. We had Fire Week a couple weeks ago. We just finished Police Week, and I've become lazy in my older age, and I have the permanent LED lights on my house. So, whether it's Christmas or whatever, I just pull out my phone and change the lights. So my house was lit up red a couple of weeks ago. It was lit up blue last week. For Public Works Week, do you guys have an official color?
Orange.
Orange, really? Okay, great. My house will be orange this week, starting tonight. So we'll have to get the word out there about that. I wasn't aware that you guys had a color, so that's great. An official color that, it'll have my neighbors wondering what's going on, and which I like. I also wanted to congratulate the Glenbard North graduates, but along with that, I wanted to get a shout out to my wife, who is at the graduation every year because she plays a big role in organizing it, and she'll be coming in the door probably around 10 o'clock tonight with a heavy sigh all week. Last week, she's been running ragged, getting everything organized, so tonight is kind of her Super Bowl when it comes to work. So a little shout out to her, even though she's busy right now and definitely not hearing this. And speaking of graduates, I wanted to congratulate a Carroll Stream resident, Thomas Parisi. If that name sounds familiar, he is the son of Frank and Lisa Parisi, Frank being the chairman of the Planning Commission. So he plays a big important role with our village. I had the honor of attending his graduation out at the University of Iowa, and he graduated with a degree in biomedical engineering, which means a lot of things, one of which he's a lot smarter than I am. And if anyone's wondering, I behaved myself being at another Big Ten school and did not make fun of the school or anything else. I was on my best behavior. Last and most importantly, I want to congratulate my daughter because this coming weekend she is having her bridal shower, which, as I say those words, is kind of a reality check for me of what's coming up this summer. So I hope for good weather and a great time. It's kind of weird because we're putting a lot of work into it, but yet I'm not really invited. Come later to pick up all the packages. And but hoping that she has a great time and that everything goes smoothly and this coming week isn't too chaotic as we finish preparations. That ends my report.
Wow, you got a lot of moving parts there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good report. Trustee Zalek.
Me, not so much. I want to thank trustee Guthrie for including me. He texted me one day and said, hey, you know what I think would be pretty cool is if we, light Carroll Stream blue for the police. And he knows I'm a retired police officer from Carroll Stream. 32 years ago, I was some young kid and got behind a squad, in a squad car in Carroll Stream. And in those 32 years, or the 30 years of law enforcement, I did work with some really, really awesome people, and Danae Pope is one of them. I mean, he is just a great guy, great officer, and so I want to thank him for his 20 years, and I agree he can't retire yet. So you're stuck with us for a little longer. Public Works, I did my honorary move of the car. I heard the Nick with the street sweeper coming down my street today, and I ran out in my pajamas at 11 o'clock and moved my car, and he started laughing. I'm like, I did my part to honor Public Works. So, but thank you guys for everything you do. I know you work with the police department. You work night and day, sometimes holidays with water main breaks, and when we flush the toilet, we are honoring you. Okay? And so, and then finally, let's keep our first responders and our military in our thoughts and prayers, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee Zalick. Trustee Frizzaloni.
I'm not even sure how to follow that up.
Can't.
I can try. Congratulations to Officer Pope. Clearly, when we hired him, we didn't check his driver's license to make sure that he was of age, because, there's no way he's been here 20 years and could even come close to retiring. So, congratulations to Officer Pope. I was there the day that he found out that he was School Resource Officer of the Year, and that was pretty incredible back in 2018, because it was at Fatal Prom. Public Works, you guys know I love you. You guys do more than just snow, you do more than just water main breaks. The entire department, whether they live in Carroll Stream or they don't live in Carroll Stream, the amount of pride that they take in our town is so evident. And it was mentioned how innovative, and they're always coming up with great ideas, which is why they are so well respected within the Public Works community. So, happy Public Works Week. I don't have fancy lights like Trustee Berger does, but they are always in my heart, and I think of them at other times of the day other than when I flush my toilet. So, please thank everyone for what they do. Thank you to everyone who came out last week. I saw Deputy Chief Cleaver is still very sunburned from being on the rooftop at the Duncan on County Farm and Elmer Trail Road. So thank you for everyone who came out to support Special Olympics last week. It was a huge turnout throughout the day. Trustee Zalick and I got there about, 10 o'clock or so? And there was still a steady stream of people coming. So, and from what I understand, Flood Brothers made a very sizable donation also to the cop on the rooftop. So thank you so much to everybody who came out to support such a great cause. The only other thing that I would like to do is I would like to congratulate my son Dominic, who officially graduated college last Friday. Unfortunately, he was not able to attend his ceremony because he's in the police academy right now, but he set a goal that he was going to graduate in 3 years, and that boy sure did it. So I am one very, very proud mother, and very proudly have my blue light on every single day of the year, because we are now officially a blue family. So goes along with the red family for my dad. And with that, I want to just wish everyone a very happy and safe Memorial Day weekend coming up. I'm not sure the weather's going to feel like it's Memorial Day, but at least it's a nice long weekend. And please watch out for kids that are outside playing right now. A lot of the kids they just want to be outside when it's not raining and when we don't have big dust storms coming in. So just watch as kids are out and slow down as you're driving through town. And with that, I will end my report.
Thank you, Trustee Frizzaloni. Trustee McCarthy.
Well, I'm going to ditto what everybody said, except I will thank and congratulate Sergeant Pope on 20 years, and hopefully it's many, many more years after this that we get to celebrate. and of course, Public Works, everything you guys do, from things as simple as helping set up for the 4th of July parade or taking care of town center to Christmas calls, doing a water main break or a sewer break or everything else. You guys are first responders who are always behind the scenes that people don't think about. So you always, all of you have our support, and you always do. So as Trustee Frusaloni said, please pass along our appreciation and thank you. The only other thing is, I brought it up the last few meetings. Parents, we got to work on these e-bikes. Somebody's going to get hurt. They are flying down these sidewalks at 20, 30 miles an hour. They're not even paying attention. They're just flying down it. I'm worried that somebody's going to be walking together with husband and wife or walking their dog, and somebody's not going to be paying attention, and somebody's going to get badly hurt. Before we have to make it a big deal, parents, cut back on this, find a way to solve this so nobody gets hurt. That's all I'm concerned about. Besides that, if you get a chance when you're clean up the sewer grates, as we're talking about Public Works. If we get heavy rains and those are plugged, that's where flooding starts. So please, if you have a moment, do that. But Memorial Day is always, so to speak, the kickoff to summer. We honor. We need to take a moment at Memorial Day, wherever we're at, and thank those who are memorializing and why we're able to do what we can. Rich, thank you for coming in today and inviting us. With that, I end my report.
Thank you, Trustee McCarthy. Clerk Swarzy, you have anything?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, I ditto everything everyone said, and again, thank you, Commander Hildebrand, for being here today and inviting us to the service. Looking forward to it, as always. And just wanted to mention, too, that I attended a dedication for the new DuPage Animal Services Center Education Room yesterday, and it's amazing. They have received $11 million in private donations to fund a complete expansion of animal services. And there's lots more room now for the cats and the dogs and the birds and the rabbits. It's just an amazing facility, and they're going to be able to take even better care of all the animals that they rescue. So I just wanted to let everyone know they're having a grand opening with the whole new facility, which is huge. They're having grand opening on Saturday, June 14th at 10 a.m., and they'll be doing tours. They have education programs for kids. There's going to be all kinds of animals for adoption and fostering. So if anybody is in need of a pet or an animal or wants to get to know about even fostering, please show up that day. It's June 14th at the new DuPage Animal Services Center, which is down at the county buildings. And other than that, just wanted to say, congratulations again to Sergeant Pope on his 20 years. Congratulations to Director Fink and Public Works. You guys do an amazing job. And happy belated birthday, Mr. Mayor. And other than that, shop and dine Carol Stream.
Thank you. Village Attorney, Mr. Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Couple of items. My congratulations to Sergeant Pope on his 20 years. We are winding down, the state legislature is winding down their legislative session. We have 2 weeks left. Interestingly enough, one of the major things they're going to be dealing with, of course, is the annual budget. And currently, the annual budget is $554 million in the red. So,
That's good for them.
yeah. So we all know that what that means is they're either going to have to find that or they're going to have to try to cut something. And we need to be diligent because we all know where they like to cut things from. And that's from municipal funds. So I wanted to point that out. The governor has given no indication of what he's going to do right now, other than to say, well, we'll figure it out by the time the legislature votes. There are a couple of bills that are still kicking around that are bills that municipalities should be concerned about. One is Senate Bill 2264. It's the crime-free housing bill, which would prohibit municipalities from continuing with crime-free housing ordinances. That bill passed through the Senate committee, and so it's going to the Senate for a vote this week. If it passes the Senate, it'll then be shipped off to the House. So I would encourage everyone to contact their legislator and to tell them that they are against this new crime-free housing legislation that's been put forward. I think I mentioned to you before that the crime-free housing bill was originally proposed by the state senator from West Chicago. There's also one other bill. It's a House Bill 1813. It's called the Accessory Dwelling Bill. And what it does is it provides that municipalities cannot prohibit accessory dwelling units on any residential property. What that means is that someone can build an accessory building on their single-family property to have another residential unit. So it basically takes single-family units and make them multifamily property. It's a very strange bill. It provides that, that accessory dwelling units include manufactured homes. Accessory dwelling units include efficiency units of approximately 500 square feet. And of course, it preempts home rule, as are most of the bills that are shooting through the legislature these days. So that's House Bill 1813. It's really a bill that I frankly don't understand where it's coming from, but it does have some support in the House. There are about 20 legislators that have signed on to be co-sponsors of that bill. So I think that's one that everyone also has to watch. And then lastly, I only want to say, as you celebrate this weekend, Memorial Day, please take a few moments to remember what Memorial Day is all about. And with that, I'll end my report.
Excellent report. Thank you, Mr. Rhodes.
Thank you.
Acting Village Manager, Mark Talavera.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a friendly reminder for Carroll Stream residents, the village has teamed up with the state of Illinois to bring a mobile emissions testing station to the town center. It'll be available starting today through Friday, and then again Tuesday, the 27th, through Saturday, the 31st. Testing hours are 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on the weekdays, and on weekends, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. In addition, beginning in June, the village will follow its summer meeting schedule. Regular meetings will be held on the first Monday of each month. The third Monday meeting will be canceled unless urgent business is required, in which case the standard schedule will be followed. In addition, we'll be adopting a more relaxed dress code for the remainder of the summer. And that ends my report.
I think I'm going to leave you there. Everything was good. We got bad news from this side and good news from this side. You're going to balance that right off. Speaking of the bit, first of all, I can't say enough about Deneen Pope. I love what he's done. I love the way he handled the school when he was in there. He's done everything a police officer you would expect could do in 20 years. And I agree with, I didn't work side by side with him as Trustee Zalick did, but for Trustee Zalick to say that is very important because he actually worked with him for 20 years. So, wonderful young man, and glad to have him, and I hope he stays another 20 years, which would be impossible. Springfield, they don't usually do anything that's good for us, and you're right. I was under the impression it was closer to 900 million, but now it's down to 500 and whatever.
That's the last thing that I heard today, was 554
I
million.
mean, I think it's a lot more than that, and they will find a way to take that money away. This crime-free housing bill, we fought to get that bill pushed through. A lot of the mayors went all the way to hell and back to get that bill passed. And if you own property and you rent that property out to someone, and they quit paying the rent, and they started throwing parties and doing drugs, to get them out without the crime-free housing bill, you could end up in court for a year or two, paying lawyers to try and get them out of your property. And in the meantime, you're not getting anything. And they don't have anything, so when you finally get them out a year or two later, usually the apartment or the house is demolished, and you have to put more money in to get it done. And they're never gonna recover that money. Is that right when I said that? I mean, so to take that away makes absolutely no sense at all. I mean, the more apartments that you have and the more rental properties that you have in houses, the worse it gets when you don't have any, there's no meat. Everything they keep taking away is not for the people that are paying all the taxes and want to be safe. They make the bad people, they make it easier all the time. That doesn't make any sense. And I don't care if they like it or not. I don't think anything they do makes sense. This grocery tax is absolutely, in my opinion, a joke. They collect the tax, 1%, and they give the money to us. Now, they quit collecting the tax, but we could put it on, and they'll collect the money for us. They're already collecting them. Why don't you just leave it the way it is? Nobody's gonna save any money. I just saw, I think tonight, a big town south of us is $6.5 million hole in their budget if they don't pass a property tax or pass the tax back on the groceries. They'll have to put it in a property tax or find another way to do it. Some of them are taking their home rule sales tax and jacking that up. I've sat with some mayors last week, some of the new mayors that haven't got a clue what they're doing yet. We try to help them to get on board. But it doesn't matter. We could take all the mayors in DuPage County and put them all together. And the legislators in Springfield are gonna do what's good for them, not for us. It's sad. It's sad that it's that way, and it will continue to be that way. We can't break that cycle, and it just gets worse. I mean, I've never seen it like it is right now. I mean, they vote on things that, if there's so many important things they could be voting on right now, and are wasting time trying to take everything away from everybody that makes sense. And if they would just sit down and they would get involved more with our police departments and get more involved with the people that are on the street every day, they wouldn't make stupid mistakes that way. I don't know. It's just gets worse instead of better. We live in a different world. We're very fortunate. We have a staff that we have and trustees that we have, police department, fire department. I mean, we really are lucky in this town. I mean, when you look around, and not because I'm the mayor, you know, that's got nothing to do with it. One person couldn't do this, 5 people couldn't do it. It takes a whole team of people to get everything done that gets done. This Citizen Police Academy, I'm gonna blow your horn for you, Chief. One of the people that you actually had go through the Citizen Police Academy, he didn't believe in the police department, and he said that openly to me. And after he went through there, he threw a breakfast for the police department because he had no idea what you do. And while we're sleeping at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, you're out on North Avenue, Army Trail Road, stopping people from stealing stuff and cars and carjackings and drunk drivers, and we're home sleeping. When you get in that squad car at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and you see what that police officer goes through, you start thinking of a whole different perspective of what they do. It's like when Mary was in the plowing snow for how many hours?
16,
Bouncing around in the truck, had a whole different perspective of public works.
absolutely.
You need some more Peterbilt trucks, we'll get them for you, right, Mayor? So, but I mean, it works in cycles, and if we all do the right thing, it's good for everybody, so. Get off my horse. I want to thank Guthrie. I did not want the money for the Dominic Savarino Foundation. We gave $13,000 in scholarships away this year, the Savarino Foundation, for my son Dominic that passed away, that went to Glenbard North. We've given away, I don't know how much now, probably $50,000 or $60,000 in the last 7 or 8 years. We keep upping how many more scholarships we're gonna give away. We have 2 school teachers from Glenbard North that actually vet the kids that they give that need the scholarships. We don't give them out by how smart the kids are, we give them out how much they need the money. A lot of kids aren't 4.0, and they're not getting scholarships to go to Yale or Indiana or Arizona State or any place. They're going to college at DuPage, and they could use $1,000. We gave the last, Denise Manella gave the last one out this last week. I thought I gave the last one out 2 weeks ago. She gave one more out, so that was 13 this year. So, but I appreciate the money. We do a lot of small things to raise that money, and we want to keep that going because it's good for the community and keep my son's name going at the same time. So I think the shirt is a great idea. I'm going to have to order a lot of them, all big sizes too. So. But I thank you for doing that. I mean, so we went from Christmas trees to shirts, which I think is a great idea. Thank you for putting that whole thing together. We've spent a lot of money, if you were following tonight's budget, we spent a lot of money on public works especially. I mean, we bought the Peterbilt trucks, you gotta have the right equipment to do the job. You can't do the job with F-150s, you gotta have bigger trucks. We beat the equipment up, plowing snow and hauling stuff, so to buy the best costs more. But you gotta give everybody the right equipment to work with. It's like the police department. If they need 5 more cars, we gotta find the money to give them 5 more cars, because if they don't have a car, what are you gonna do, chase you down the street? Of course, I don't know, with the new rule, you can't chase them anyway. Maybe it's better we get you a couple of them bikes.
E-bikes.
That Matt's talking about, because you can only, 6 miles long and 1.5 miles wide or whatever. I mean, you don't have to chase them too far, so. I mean, to me, I don't know, I wake up at night and I think how stupid some of these things are that people do. And then you wonder, and they're elected officials. It's scary, I have to tell you. So anyway, Police Week, John Zalek, about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I was in Florida. You went to my house and took my blue light out. I had a blue light out before anybody ever put I put the blue light up. And he called and said, Mayor, I think you need to get that blue light out of your window because it was bad. He went over to my house, took it out and put a white bulb in there. When I got home, I put the blue one back. But he was right. I mean, I didn't want to antagonize anybody, and thank you for looking out for me back then. I appreciate it. That's what we do for each other. But my blue light's staying in there forever because I look at what the police department does and what all law enforcement does. It's phenomenal. And you, Mr. Hildebrand, thank you for what you do. I watched you out there in that cold weather on Saturday, stand there for hours to collect.
Can I make a comment? After hearing, I looked in the paper this last week and I saw a number of the villages were honoring memorials to the firefighters and the police department. And I know next Monday is basically a military day for honoring the military veterans that passed. But I, in my own personal heart, feel that we should take a moment and take the respect, honor the police and firemen and first responders in this country that have passed in the line of duty also. Because as a military personnel, I'm your front line of defense outside the continental United States. Inside the continental United States, it's our police department, our fire department, and our first responders for emergency event. It's not the military until the government calls out the National Guard, and we're the second call. You guys are the first call. So I really personally feel that I wish they would do something to make it a national holiday for the military and the first responders.
That would be a good thing, but we don't do a lot of good things. See, that's the problem.
Well, I do things my way.
Well,
If I get my head shot off Sunday or Monday, I'll know why.
well, we appreciate what you do. We appreciate, and I know you just work hard to raise money, and it's not easy to stand out there all that time selling poppies and then now go from one place to another to do that. And I thank you for what you do. That's all I could say. I mean, this country doesn't take care of our military or first responders the way that they should. So with that, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee McCarthy, seconded by trustee Fruzzoloni. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Guthrie.
Aye.
Trustee Anselmo.
Aye.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Zalek.
Aye.
Trustee Fruzzoloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.
Just